Camera, action.
Good evening, enthusiastic investors. I am sure that you surprised that why did I call you investors? Well, words of the same feather flock together. For example, you buy a new car and now you all see on the road is the brand of car you purchased. Similarly, I am an investment consultant and I see investor in every one of you. I realize that you all are investors here. Why? Couples of year ago, I wanted to invest. So I started to searching the best investment firm. So before I tell you which is the best investment firm, I want to know from you people, could you please add in the chat box and tell me which is the best investment firm as per you? Please add in the chat box. Should I investment in mutual fund? 8 to 10% market risk is there. Then could I invest into share market, stock market direct? Then significant return, but significant losses. Could I invest into the PPF? 7 to 8% return, but money blocked. Fixed deposit, peace of mind, but inflation rate is higher than the rate of interest. Or land, who is going to fight with the neighbors? After analyzing all these investment vehicles, I realized that the best investment is in true investment on yourself. And certainly it brings exponential return for you. And today we all are here to invest our most precious and irreversible resource, that is time, on ourselves in next 1 hour. Success is not outcome of money. Money is outcome of success. I am a finance guy and I am super excited to hear Toastmaster Ojasaya, who is also a finance guy. He takes the bull by its horn and speaks about the financial wellness. Before I call him, I would like to tell you today's session is divided into 3 sections. That is keynote speaker section, book review session, and most exciting session, that is audience participation session. But there is a one person who is going to track our most valuable resource, that whether it is invested properly and rationally or not. And she is timer, because time is irreversible resource. Our timer, Toastmaster Shefali, she is engineer by profession and she is writer by passion. She is the author of the book The Infinite Road, A Paradise of Thought. Her book The Infinite Road won for her several awards like Best Debutant Fiction and the Most Promising Author. The book was listed among the top books to ready to the Dispatch and the media portal School Life. It was also featured in the several magazine and the illustrated in the fests. She loves experiment in the different genre. Her next book is in anthropology, which would be out very soon. So now I would like our today's keynote speaker, Toastmaster Ojasaya. But before I call him on the virtual platform, I just want to tell you something about Toastmaster Ojasaya. Toastmaster Ojasaya, he has done his economics honor from the Kodimal College from Delhi, and then he has completed his MBA in finance from Ford School of Management. During the weekdays, he looks over the number of HSBC, play with the data of the HSBC. And at the weekend, he looks the data and the opportunities in the companies where he can got the new lucrative opportunity for every one of us. Today, Toastmaster Ojasaya is going to share his saving journey and his key learning which he has got till now. So without any further ado, let me Let me help to welcome Toastmaster Ojasaya on the virtual platform. So guys, please give a big round of applause, Toastmaster Ojasaya. Over to you, Toastmaster Ojasaya.
Thank you,
Virtual
Amit.
stage is yours.
Thank you, Amit, for the wonderful introduction. Thank you. So let me start my speech. So when I was a child, I was constantly told that money is difficult to earn. Money is not grown on trees. Money plant does not print money. And each penny saved is each penny earned. I grew into my adolescence with the concept that savings is important, as your savings are your best friends in the time of distress. But when I grew, I was made aware of the consumerism by different brands. To quote an example, let me share my screen. So let me share an example from our brand, which is Domino's.
लाइफ की पहली कमाई चाहे जितनी भी छोटी हो, यो पिज्जा मेनिया सर, यार उसकी पार्टी बड़ी होनी चाहिए। डोमिनोज पिज्जा मेनिया, ओनली 44 रुपीज। भाई लेकिन सीवी पे जरूर लिखे हुआ स्टार्टेड करियर एज अ डायनासोर। डोमिनोज पिज्जा, ये है रिश्तों का टाइम।
Okay, so you just watched the commercial from Domino's where there was a boy who worked hard as a clown and he earned rupees 250 with that job. That was his first salary. And with that money, the first thought which occurred in his mind was to buy pizza for himself and his friends. And Domino's advertised, कमाई चाहे कितनी भी छोटी क्यों ना हो, पर उसकी पार्टी बड़ी होनी चाहिए. The advertisement told me that it is a social convention to have a grand party with the first salary. They were not telling me to save or invest my money. Instead, they were asking me to use the money for my enjoyment. Similarly, I saw another advertisement where Cadbury advertised that when a person gets his salary on very first day of the month, that should be used to enjoy with your family, watch a movie, and celebrate it with Cadbury chocolate. All these advertisements were affecting my mindset. And having a savings mindset from childhood, I was told unconsciously by these brands to have a spending mindset and enjoy my life. So now I got confused. Should I have a savings mindset or should I go towards consumerism and start spending whatever I earn? And to be very frank, I was not happy with the schooling education too. In school, I was taught everything, I suppose, from simple concepts like addition and subtraction to slightly complex topics such as thermodynamics. But I was not taught how to handle money. Though I was studying to earn money, but I was not taught how to save and how to manage my finances. I was of 18 years of age and I was not aware how to save. I have studied profit and loss, compound and simple interest, but nobody taught me how to save. And the mindset which I got from my family to save was continuously challenged by the growing consumerism. So now I had a problem in hand that should I save? That was the first question. And if yes, what is the correct way to save? And to answer this, I had two options. So my first option was to ask my professor about savings, but I didn't have the audacity to ask my Indian economics professor about savings, as this was obviously out of the syllabus question, and I knew asking out of the syllabus question would imply I would be getting a question on Indian economics, which was surely a part of the syllabus, and I was not ready to answer that. So I went to my family, and my first question was, "Hey, mummy, should a person save or not? And how much should be saved?" And I got the reply, higher the savings get, higher would be the net worth of the person. So save as much as possible. I said, okay, fine. But I have seen that ads show that we should enjoy with the money and spend it. Then she told me that it is a tactic of companies to increase their sales, where the money goes from your pocket to their pocket. Okay, now I got to know higher savings would mean higher net worth, and savings are important to have a better future. So I innocently asked my mother that, can you please tell me what is the net worth of our family, as we have been saving for a lot of time. So what is the net worth of our family? And she immediately responded that you are too young to know all these things. And the frown on her face told me I should not ask any more questions. But then I thought, I'm 18 years old. I'm old enough to choose the to choose the future of the Indian economy, but I'm not old enough to know my family's net worth. I slowly realized that money is a very sensitive topic, and many of the families are not comfortable in talking about money in their families and in the social circle. I then asked my father about the net worth and how he has saved. At that time, he told me about his net worth and also showed me how he has saved. At that time, he also showed me that he also bought a money back policy for me, where he would be getting some amount in future, which would be higher than the amount he invested. I thought, what a good plan this is. You will be getting a higher amount from which you have invested. So I asked him that, can I see that policy? Then he showed me that policy. And by doing certain simple compound interest, I was able to find that this policy is only giving 1.2% return. And at that time, banks were offering 4% return. So obviously, this investment was not good, because if we have kept our money in the bank account with just 4% return, we would be much better off as compared to buying this money back policy. So from this experience, I got to know that it is necessary to understand the savings. So before I started to work, I learned different instruments available in the market, which will help me to save in my future. So this was my short story and my journey, how I started savings and how I started learning about savings. Now, I would like to share some of my learnings which I have gathered from my journey with you all. So my first learning is never combine insurance and investment in one policy. Okay, so we would be better off in keeping both things separately. That is, insurance separate and your investments are separate. Okay, don't combine them in one policy, which are known as ULIP or endowment plans. Don't combine them. So these policies have huge commissions. So agents and companies tend to sell these policies more. So because of which people generally have these policies, but try to avoid them because they are not worth it. And apply simple 8th class maths, and you will get to know that instead of buying these policies, you should buy some other investment plans and other insurance plans. So let me give an example for this. Okay, let me give an example. Wait. Yeah, so this is a policy of one of my friends whose father bought this policy in 2013. And as you can see in this black box, this is the maturity sum assured, okay, which means that after 35 years, that is this amount, 35 years, after 35 years, the person will be getting 10,80,700 rupees, okay. And there is also, this is the investment option. The second option is of insurance, that is the death benefit, which is 9 lakh rupees, okay, 9 lakh rupees death benefit. And also there is accident insurance as well of 5 lakh rupees. Okay, so what we have seen, we have two components main: investment 10 lakh thousand, 9 lakh death benefit, and 5 lakh accident benefit. Okay, and this investment should be done for 35 years. The amount is 2042, and that too for monthly payment. Okay, monthly payment should be 2042, and we have to do this payment for 35 years. Okay, now what I tried to do is that 2042 is monthly payment. So what I did is that I just multiplied 2042 with 12. Okay, as you can see over here, 2042 into 12 comes out to be 24,504. So annually, annually the person is spending 24,504 rupees. Okay, so as I mentioned that insurance and savings or investment should not be combined. Instead, they should be separated. Okay, so I try to separate this in insurance and savings. So what should be the amount in insurance and what should be the amount in savings? So let's see that. What I did is that I went to a policy bazaar and I found that a life cover, that is a term insurance, a death cover of 50 lakh rupees. So there you have seen that the death cover was 9 lakh rupees only. Okay, and here the death cover is 50 lakh, which I think is 5 times more than the death cover which you just saw. So 50 lakh rupees over here, and this 50 lakh rupees term insurance for 60 years can be bought on a yearly payment of 6,000 rupees. Okay, so 6,000 rupees yearly payment, you should be paying that. So what I did is that I divided this 24,000 in insurance and savings. So 6,000 rupees I've mentioned over here, and the rest, that is subtracting these two amounts, I got 18,438. Okay, so I've got 18,438, and this is on an annual basis. So we are discussing about the annual payments over here. Okay, so I have put in this value in this calculator. This calculator basically tells me what will be the future value if I'm investing a particular amount today. So as we saw that 18,000 was the savings part, and I'm not doing anything. I'm just keeping this balance. I'm just keeping this amount in my savings account. I'm not investing in mutual funds, not investing in PPF, just keeping this in savings account. And I'm expecting a return of 4%. There are certain banks which are still providing 4% on savings account. So I've just used this calculator, mentioned 4%. And as we have already seen that the term was 35 years. So I've used 35 years here, and I can see that the value which I will get in future is 13,57,000. Okay, which is higher than 10,80,000 which he was getting. So surely we are better off if we are not combining endowment, that we're not combining insurance and savings in one. It is better to divide insurance and savings into two parts. So I've given the mathematical formulation for this too. So that was my first learning. So never ever combine never ever combine insurance and savings in one plan. Okay. Then my second learning was that stock markets are not gambling. Because people in India think that stock markets are gambling, but according to me, stock markets are not gambling. It is investing where you become a part owner of the company where you have invested. So we all know that starting a business or regulating or working in a business is not gambling. So I don't know why investing in a business is gambling. So don't take stock markets as gambling. It makes you a part owner of that company. And if you're very skeptical about investing in stock markets, I would like to give you a simple data which will tell you that stock markets are not that risky, which we think. Okay, let me give you the data. So according to this data, this is a data of BSE Sensex. Okay, this is the data which I've taken from BSE Sensex, and this data is from 1980 to 2021 till April. Okay, till April. May is going on, so I've taken till April. Okay, then from 1980 to 2021, I've taken the data. I have seen the closing prices, and I've calculated the return of 1 year, 2 year, 5 years, 7, 10, 15, and 20 years. Okay. And I can see that in 1 year, the return has been both positive and negative. So we have a negative part, we have a positive part here as well. Okay. Similarly, in second year too, we have some negative components and we have positive components too. 5 years too, we have negative part too. But when we come to 7 years, I cannot see any negative return. So everything is positive over here. So it means that there has been no block of 7 years. So there was no 7 years block where equities or BSE Sensex has given a negative return. Okay. And I'm talking about 1980s to 2021, which means that we have seen the Harshad Mehta scam, we have seen wars, we have seen recession of 2008, we have seen the 2000 collapse because of technology stocks. We have seen everything. We have also seen coronavirus too. So I'm taking everything into consideration, and it shows that there was no block of 7 years where there was any negative return. So simply, if you're investing in stock market, have a long-term horizon. This means that, so have a long-term horizon. There are very, very high chances you will be getting a positive return. My second observation was that the average return which we can expect from equities, which I've seen over here, is that 13%. So 13% is the average return which you can expect from stock market. My third observation was that the coefficient of variation, which means the riskiness of investing in equities, decreases as the number of years invested in equity market or in stock markets increases. So I can see that the coefficient of variation is decreasing. So 0.66, 0.515, 0.29, 0.21. So as the number of years increases, so is my riskiness of investing in equity funds decreases. So just invest in stock market, have a long-term horizon, and you will be getting a much better return as compared to some debt funds. So that was my second learning. Okay. Now coming to my third learning. Yes, my third learning. So my third learning is that discuss finances in your family. We all know that certain families like Marwadi family have a better sense of managing money. And the major reason for it is that they're listening conversation about money from the very childhood. They become net savers as they've realized the importance of money and the correct way to save money. They learn from the mistakes of their families and they can save in a much better way. This creates a cycle where each generation is investing in a much better way and is living comfortably. Okay, so that was my fourth learning. My fifth learning was, my fourth learning was to buy insurance. See, so we all save for our future, but then suddenly a mishappening such as COVID-19 occurs and all our saving goes in our medical expenses. So it is necessary to have medical insurance, which will help you in a time of distress. Buying a term insurance will also help you and will also help you in locking a lower premium amount. So if you buy, if you are of 25 years of age and if you buy insurance now, you will be paying a lower premium for the rest of the life as compared to when you're buying that insurance at the age of 40. So I have taken this example from Policy Bazaar, which I would like to show you. So let me show you again the example of Policy Bazaar. So here I have taken two people. One is the age of 24 years, as you can see over here, where my cursor is moving, 24 years. Then the second person is of 40 years. Okay, the first is 24 and the second is 40. And I've taken a term insurance of 1 crore rupees, and I will be paying an yearly amount. Okay, and I've taken yearly amount. So the 24 years of age person will be paying only 11,000 rupees on an yearly basis, and a 40-year person will be paying 23,000 rupees on a yearly basis. So totally this means that the amount will be double. So when you are paying at a later age, so it is better to lock this premium, that is 11,000 right now, and you will be paying 11,000 only for the rest of your life. So it is better to start your insurance at an early stage so you can lock a lower premium. Okay, then that was my learning. And now coming to my fifth learning. My fifth learning is that retirement planning should be started as early as possible. In India, the major source of income which retirees have is the pension and the gratuity which they have earned from the organization. And the other source of income is the children. Retirees are generally dependent on their child for the monetary support. And with the growing consumerism and low savings rate, children are not able to support their parents in their retirement. So people in the age of 55 to 60 think it is better to work and earn money instead of retiring. And they're not able to retire whenever they want. So it is important to plan for retirement from an early stage. Also, there is an ongoing trend where people want to retire early. So if you are thinking to retire early, so the basic formula for that is take your annual expenses and multiply that by 25. So for example, if your monthly expense, which you think for yourself is 30,000 rupees. So if you multiplied by 12, you will be getting the annual expenses which you are incurring, which is 3,60,000 rupees. Okay. And this amount should be multiplied by 25. When you multiply this by 25, you will be getting somewhere around 90 lakh rupees. And this much amount you should have if you want to have a comfortable retirement. This amount includes all the inflation expenses and the investment which you will be doing. So 25 is a very good number which you can use to see how much amount you need to have for your retirement. Okay, now I just have 2 minutes, so let me share my last learning. So my last learning is formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. The schooling education is not teaching us anything about money. People either learn when they are too old, or they learn from different resources or through self-study. We all know that somewhere or the other we are dependent on money. So I think it is necessary to start learning about it as early as possible. So that was all from my side. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ojasaya, for sharing all this learning. So as I am also a finance guy, so if I didn't miss this learning, so I want to share with you, everyone. So don't put your all eggs in the one basket, because if these eggs are put in these like Satyam or Yes Bank, then obviously you are going to lose in the share market. But otherwise, right, this is not share market is not a gamble. It is the you are becoming the part of a business, and for that you have to take little risk. So now you are all are welcome to ask the question from our keynote speaker. So you can ask if you have any question about your finance wellness, or you want to know better opportunities in the share market or anything. So I can see that Smith is here. Smith, you can come ahead and ask the question.
Thanks, Amit. Hi, Ojasaya. This is a wonderful session. You mentioned how important it is the financial intelligence to know from our childhood itself. Yes, I agree. We are not taught about it. Schooling is not interested in teaching all those things. Okay, my question is that you have mentioned so many things like investing in stocks, mutual funds, or the insurance, which is better. We need to take it. But my question is that when you are at the age of 27, 28, you have been pressurized into buy an apartment or buy an house, and but then when you read some books or when you understand something, that house is considered as a liability, not an asset. For the person who is starting his income at 28 or 27, according to you, would you suggest to somebody to take an apartment or the flat at the age of 28? Because there is one more contradiction, is that when you buy an apartment, everything goes into EMI, right? So if you're staying in a rent, and if you're staying in a rent and flat, the amount which you're paying as a rent is considered, it's equally considered same as when you buy a flat with an EMI. So if you are living in a house for 35 years by paying rent, or if you bought a house with EMI for 35 years, in the second case, the house becomes yours. But in the first case, you are still as a tenant. So what would you suggest to what is this main thing, is that house is really an asset, or is it a liability?
Okay, that's an interesting question. So answering the first part, whether you should invest buying an apartment or not. Okay, then I will come to rented part then. So if I'm talking about buying an apartment at the age of 27, 28 years, I think you can see the yield of that apartment. Okay, yield would be how much rent will you be able to extract from that apartment over the cost of the apartment, which is at that time. So for example, suppose I have my house in Faridabad, and the cost of that house is say 80 lakh rupees, and on a monthly basis I can extract a rent of say 5,000 rupees only. Okay, so on an annual basis 5,000 rupees would mean that 60,000 rupees on an annual basis on a house of say which is costing 80 lakh rupees. So obviously the yield is less than 4%. So when I'm talking about the yield of less than 4%, I don't think that it is a good investment for me. It is better to invest somewhere else. And I think the better investment would be where you are getting yield of say 6 or 7%. So that would be the best case. If you're getting a yield of 6 or 7%, then you can go and buy your apartment. Secondly, when we're talking about EMI or rental, I think that this is one of the questions which I was also thinking about. So what I thought is that the rental income, which will give you the HRA benefits, okay, and the EMI will be giving you some tax benefits too, which are under different sections. You can get a tax benefit of around say 5 lakh rupees. So that needs to be calculated accordingly with your taxations, and you can see whether getting staying in a rent or taking an apartment through taxation, you can see whether it is good or not. I think that can be one of the solution which you can see through taxation, whether your taxes are saved or not, better in rental or in taking an apartment, if EMIs and rent are same.
Okay. Yeah, I understood. Thank you, Ojasya.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Ojasaya, thank you so much. We have audience a lot of questions for you, but now due to the paucity of time, we can't take more questions. So Jatin and Arushi, you can reach to the Toastmaster Ojasaya for clarify your doubts, and Ojasaya is also going to share 2 more tips with us on the group. So now I want to call our most creative person and backbone of the leaders or readers group. The most creative person, because when we are thinking about investing in the mutual funds and FDs, he suggested us to invest in the oxygen cylinder, because that is the most lucrative business at current point of time. So now I would like to call Toastmaster Abu Shadab as a book reviewer. Abu Shadab is an HR professional by day, and with his sunset, he changes from his profession to passion and become a YouTuber, Toastmaster, event coordinator, author, fitness enthusiast, avid reader, and blogger as well. So he is a jack of all trades. While growing, he was told that opposite of success is failure, only to realize the opposite of success is learning. So he continued to fail and then learn and wears his failure as a badge of honor. So now I would like to call Toastmaster Abu on the virtual platform. Over to you, Toastmaster Abu. As please give a big round of applause.
Thank you so much, Amit. What a wonderful session of just shared. Thank you so much. What if the world's wealth was distributed equally among everyone? What would have happened after 20 years? So if the entire wealth of this world is distributed equally. This question was asked to me by my friend. And then he gave an answer that literally surprised me. After 20 years, the rich will continue to become richer and the poor will come back and will become poor. Then I realized making money and managing money are 2 different things. And your attitude towards money will define whether you end up being financially independent, or as for most of us, you end up screwing financially. My book talks about 3 important things that goes ahead and screws us financially. The first thing is greed. The second thing is fear. And the last thing is inflated ego. So I have a quick story for all of you. Let's talk about greed. And I love this story. This is called the monkey story. So there was this rich businessman from the city. He comes to a village and he tells the villager that if you can find me a monkey, I'll pay per monkey 300 rupees. The villagers were super excited. Until yesterday, the monkeys were nuisance. And today, they are going to get money for the nuisance. Wow. So they got monkeys and they were paid 300 per monkey. Next week, the rich person tells the villagers, today, if you get me monkeys, I'm going to pay you 400 rupees. The villagers were like, oh my God, seriously? And they searched for the entire village and they got all the monkeys in their village. The following week, the rich city guy tells them, I'm ready to pay you 600. The villagers did not have monkey in their village. They went to neighboring village and they got monkeys. And then this is what the rich person says, that I have to go to the city for a week's time. I have my secretary here. He is going to manage things on my behalf. And there's something I have to tell you. When I come back from the city, I'm going to pay per monkey 800 rupees. The villagers just could not believe their luck. But there was one problem. The problem was there were no monkeys. So on behalf of this rich man, the secretary went ahead and proposed an offer to the villagers. He tells the villagers, let's do something. While my owner is away, you can buy these monkeys for 700 rupees. And you will get 800 rupees. So both of us will benefit. The villagers were like, oh my God, this is like super awesome offer. All his monkeys were sold. And that was the day. Until date, the secretary and the rich never returned to the village. My dear friends, while we are working towards financial independence, please understand it is very easy to fool us. And you can be fooled easily, but it is very difficult to prove to a person that he or she has been fooled. The second thing is about fear. I remember we have changed approximately 10 rented accommodation. And the worst thing, I hate paying brokerage. The worst part about paying brokerage is I am not at all good when it comes to bargaining. There is something that happens when I'm trying to bargain, wherein the broker tells me either take it or leave it. Every time I have to pay the exact amount that the broker looks for. But one fine day, I heard my colleague and she was talking to a broker. The brokerage was 24,000. But she ended up paying 6,000 as brokerage. I could not believe. I asked her, how on earth did you do it? And she tells me, Abu, you need to understand, people can sense fear. And when people can sense fear, they can make you pay any crazy amount. So the most important thing is to remain calm. For the last one, that is inflated ego, you have to read my book, that is How Not to Get Financially Screwed, and you'll get multiple of stories. So I will look forward for getting your lovely reviews. This is my debutant novel. I've just gone ahead and been myself. I hope you guys like it. Back to the amazing anchor, Toastmaster Amit.
Thank you, Abu, sharing for amazing stories. And certainly, I am going to read your book. I believe there are more creative and these amazing story in this book. So, guys, now we are in the third section of the session. That is the most exciting section. And in this session, audience participation. So, you can nominate your name for the audience participation. And certainly, we are going to ask the questions that are associated with the today's topic. So, can you see my screen? So, may I get the first volunteer? Chirag Kassim. Okay, so here is question for you, Chirag. What is the definition of asset and liability for you?
It's Geeta Kashyap, Chirag's mom.
Oh, sorry. Okay, Geeta ma'am, the question is for you. As per you, what is the definition of assets and liability? What do you think this is asset and this is liability? I can't hear you.
Am I audible now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Assets are something that we can afford, which we can buy, in which we can live comfortably and live. I mean, having those assets, they are our requirement, and we can. And liabilities are when we look at others. I have a car, but I want somebody else has a Mercedes. I want that Mercedes. That becomes a liability. I will take a loan and then I will buy that just to fulfill my desire. That is my vanity, my pride, just to show that I'm better off than somebody else. I would like to buy all those things better than my neighbors, better than my friends. And that becomes a liability then. And when we have too much of liability on our heads, it is obvious that we are going to fall flat in the long run. So we should, or we say it in Hindi, jitni chadar utna hi pair pasaro. So we should be very careful not to exceed our limits. So it's we all need luxuries. I know these days nobody can do without. Everybody needs a car, everybody needs an AC, and but be very careful not to exceed your limits. Be very careful about what is really required, what is the need of the hour, which really gives you happiness. Because whatever you have, it will not fulfill your desire. You'll want more and more and more. Every time you have one thing, there'll be a desire to have something else always. So with that, I end here. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Geeta ma'am. So now I'm not going to say anything because our keynote speaker is going to reply all your questions and what he thinks about. So he's going to enlighten us later on. So now I can see Toastmaster Arushi. So can you see my screen? What are some myths that you know about finance? What are some myths that you know about finance?
Myths, yeah. So one thing that because I was there, I can tell you that at the present moment, I used to think that saving right now is not the best idea. But the future value of the present money is way more. So saving today will earn you a lot more. So that is one myth that I realized that one should bust, and definitely think of saving money today. So that was one. Or second myth, job, when you're a child, parents say that paise ped pe nahi ugte hain, and you don't really know how hard it is to earn money. So when you grow up, you realize that it takes a lot of hard work to earn that money. And so that was another learning that I had about finance. That's all I can think of right now. Back to you, Toastmaster Amit.
Thank you, Arushi. So now I want to call Toastmaster Ritika. Why do rich become richer and poor become poorer? Toastmaster Ritika, why do rich become richer and poor become poorer?
So, to answer this, I would say rich always thinks to do something different. They keep investing, and poor does not think of they just think of spending. If we think of rich and poor, is basically the person who always keeps just spending instead of investing. So that is it. If we keep on just spending and not think of saving or investing our money, then we keep becoming poorer. And also, like, if we are not saving today, and something like this coronavirus happens, this pandemic happens, and we will spend all our money in medical expenses, and then we will not be left with anything. That is why rich becomes richer and poorer becomes poorer.
Thank you,
It's
Toastmaster
basically
Ritika.
main thing that how we handle our money.
Right. Because the money works for richer and poor work for money, works for money. So that's how now Toastmaster Haritosh, uh, what are the some best advices that you have been given on finance?
Right.
What are the best? Yes.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amit. Hello, everyone. What is the best financial advice you have been given? I think there have been so many financial advices, a lot of good session today. But one particular advice, if I think about, I read an audible a few years back, which is called Financial Freedom by Dave Ramsey. And the very first thing he said that do not use a credit card. Now, personally speaking, when I was getting married, uh, I got a credit card, and then even if I stop my story here, you know what happened, right? So having the credit card is like having devil in your pocket, and I still have credit card, but I've tried to control my urge to use that. So that is the best advice I've received, and I'm trying to follow it, trying to control my urge to use that plastic money. So yeah, that's the best I can think about.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster. So Toastmaster Anusha.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, Toastmaster Anusha, what is your take on big fat Indian weddings? What is your take on big fat Indian weddings?
Big fat Indian weddings for the big fat opulent industrialists, and small, simple, lovely weddings for simple people like us. But when you're speaking on a financial front, as we are today, then one begins to wonder, why are there these big fat Indian weddings? Well, one of the very obvious reasons is unaccounted money, which needs to be channelized in utilitarian channels. And this is one of the best ways to win goodwill, to earn brownie points, and at the same time splurge wealth, which you would not be able to do otherwise in normal times. So big fat Indian weddings are a way of getting your goodwill with the groom side, with the bride side, and with your friends. These are also used as PR events. So I would say that big fat Indian weddings have a logic of their own. They are not simply opulence and show. They are a means of utilizing unchannelized and unaccounted money, and they serve a purpose for the person who is utilizing them for what they think it's worth. It's also too much money in the pocket is left unutilized if it were not to be channelized in these kind of ways. So big fat Indian weddings for the big fat thoughtless industrialist is my take, which might be a little parochial, but it is there. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anusha. So now I would like to take Toastmaster Smith. The question is for you. Have you ever been a victim of a fraud? Have you ever been a victim of a fraud? If you share, if you are comfortable, then you can share, please.
Thank you, Amit. Okay, I have never been a victim of any fraud, but actually, I have seen my father he was about to get fraud. You know, there was one time where somebody from the bank they have called my father, and then they were asking about my father's credit card number. You know, the 16-digit number. So I was like next to him, but I was not paying so much attention. So my father was telling her, and I'm from Telangana, so basically my father speaks in Telugu, but this particular lady was speaking in English. So my father was having little difficulty in trying to convey, so he called me. So the lady, she asked the first 16-digit number, then immediately she was asking about my father's date of birth. So I took over the phone, then I asked the details and why do you need my father's date of birth? So the one lesson, or there are so many posts on social media that if somebody is asking your phone number or if somebody is asking your date of birth, immediately you need to cut the call. This is the first alert. Nobody, no bank people are there to ask you. They are not supposed to ask you any OTP or any your date of birth. So when I encountered that somebody is asking my father's date of birth, I immediately took over the call and then I asked a few more questions, and from that time my father is not getting any call. And there is this one more second encounter that when you apply for a credit card, when you go to in a bank, when you try to fill up the form, before getting accepted, you will be getting calls from different banks that are offering credit cards. So make sure when you're going to the bank, your data is not leaked. Matlab, what I mean to say that when you're filling the form, it is better to fill it in an online way, because there are some people in the bank, what they do is they take your data and then they give it to the third party people, because most of this credit card selling or this all these things are done by third party people. So this is one thing I learned, that never share your date of birth, and never fill the offline form, fill it online. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Sumit. So now I just want to share a quick thing that happened to me. Around few years back, I got a call from a bank that your bank is going to close, so share the few information with me. So I told that I am already having a lot of problem with this money, so you can close my account and take all money. So after then, I didn't get any type of call. And one another thing that is the what we become, what we think. So if we think making the money is very hard, then obviously it is making the money is very hard. And if we think that making the money is very easy, then obviously it is going to be very easy. So now I would like to call Toastmaster Ojasaya on virtual platform. So over to you, Toastmaster Ojasaya.
Polling.
Oh, okay. My apology. Toastmaster Kritika, could you please launch the poll?
Still left with 3 more people. Toastmaster Amit, you can continue.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kritika. So now I would like to call Toastmaster Ojasaya on the virtual platform. So I hope he will satisfy your few more queries about the finance. So over to you, Toastmaster Ojasaya.
Thank you, Amit. So The whole audience participation round was very nice. I learned the different things. As Geeta ma'am mentioned that liabilities are that which make us move beyond our limits, which can be seen by the credit card concept, which Haritosh also mentioned, that credit cards he's not willing to use more credit cards because that will increase his credit limit and that will increase his liability. Also, the myths which Arushi mentioned, that is present value and future value, was very knowledgeable. And I think this particular concept was the first thing when I realized this particular concept of present value and future value. I started thinking in terms of time value of money, and I started savings after learning this concept. And the last thing which I would like to mention, which Ritika mentioned, why rich are rich and poor are poor. So I would like to quote one statement over here, that rich thinks about the three generation, whereas poor thinks about next Saturday. So it is very clear that rich plan for the future, whereas poor only thinks for the near future only. So at last, I would like to say that I would like to sum up by saying that we have heard about the great American dream, which is a belief that regardless of where the person is born or what class they are born into, one can attain success in society by hard work, risk taking, and sacrifice. We can extend this philosophy in India too. With a growing workforce and the youngest population, growth will surely be there. And if we want to grow with the economy, I think it is important to save and invest wisely. By this, I would like to invite the next keynote speaker, Chitra Padmana. Chitra is the author of the best-selling books Slaying the Blues, the recently released novel Linger When You're Gone, as well as co-author of several anthologies. She is a scientist, a trained classical dancer, and has won over 40 awards at the state and national level for her varied literary activities such as writing, directing plays, storytelling, essay writing, and debates. 2 gold medals, 5 research fellowships, 13 acclaimed research publications, and she also continues to write whenever opportunities present themselves. Recently, she was featured by reputed online magazine platforms and communities like the Indian Periodical, Women's Web, Write Fluence, and the Indian Authors Club. She has started an initiative called Hues and Quills that aims to unite art and writing for the benefit of the society. Her vision is to donate profits from the sale of all books to organizations working towards mental health upliftment of the marginalized sections and women's health issues. Wow, I'm truly inspired by you, Chitra. We are delighted to have you here, and we're keen to know about your keynote speech. Over to you, Chitra.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Ojasaya, for the introduction, and thank you, everyone, for giving me the opportunity to be the next keynote speaker. So, as you know, I've written the book Slaying the Blues, and that stemmed from a need to express what I had been through. As you know, I've been a scientist, a dancer, and so my lifestyles have been, quite erratic, and I've worked deadlines. I had grueling schedules, and uh, being in the rat race, I often felt that I'm experiencing fatigue, I'm getting depressed. And so there was a single shining thought in the darkness that I have to survive this period, I have to get through this. So I had so many self-help books to go through. So I slogged through workbooks and sheets and charts, and I talked to friends, and all I could hear was be positive. But at after a certain point of time, I realized that it's like getting like a taunt in my head that be positive, but I'm not being happy. So being positive is sort of a long term wiring of your mindset. But when the blues are hitting you and when you're not able to get through your day, what can you do to instantly pep up your mood? What can you do to instantly kill your anxiety, get through the day, get on to the next work that you have to do? So that was how the concept of slaying the blues came in. So I tried out some easy practical actions that I found useful to, just kill depression, instantly bring back my zest for life. And that is what I will be sharing with you, tips and resources, quick and dirty hacks, so that you can instantly, brighten up your day and brighten up the days of others around you. So, and essentially it aims, at inculcating a culture of self-love. So many mistake it for, narcissism, but it's not that. We never need to feel guilty about loving ourselves, because when we love ourselves and when we make ourselves a better version, we are often helping people, around us get, their mental health also improves, because we are less irritable, we are less snappy, and we are able to increase our productivity, our efficiency. So there are lots and lots of hacks that we can use, and some of them are really quirky, some of them you'll feel that you have never tried out before, and for some of them you'll feel that there's a new dimension to it. So all of us, let us celebrate our new avatars by trying out self-care and self-love and sparkle up on our nastiest days, and let's slashing away our blues together. So that is the theme of my next keynote speech.
Wow, amazing, Chitra. You have intrigued me about your session, really, because it is actually a real situation. How to slay the blue. I really want to know, and definitely you have intrigued all of us. So you are going to get a lot of audience. I'm sure about it. Thank you so much. And yes, what an amazing session. It was indeed an important session. I'm really bad at finance and managing my finances. But yes, today, after watching Ojasaya session, so I have got a lot to know about finance, and yes, how important it is to save money. And I'm really going to call Ojasaya after the meeting. So just be ready to answer my questions, and I'm sure that you will get a few more calls as well, because due to the paucity of time, we were not able to pick all the people who had questions. So be ready for that, and thank you so much for the amazing session. It was really important and it was really amazing. And yes, Toastmaster Amit, he just lightened up the whole session with his amazing skill of anchoring. Yes, you did a great job, Toastmaster Amit. Kudos to you. Can we have a round of applause for Toastmaster Amit? And our timer, Toastmaster Shefali. Yes, she showed the cards on the right time, and yes, she was very active. Thank you so much, Shefali. Toastmaster Jatin and Toastmaster Ritika for being the PR manager and for being the tech master. She handles the whole meeting. In every meeting, she has a very tedious job, and she does that job with like a pro. Congratulations! Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ritika. And as I always say, last but not the least, Toastmaster Abu. He's the main coordinator and he manages everything. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Abu. Thank you is not enough for that, but this is what I can say right now. Now let me announce the winner of the audience participation round. That is, okay, yes, she's here, Anusha. Congratulations, Anusha.
Thank you, Sonika.
Okay, so we have some time. So I would like to ask you the best part in today's keynote session. What did you like the most? Anyone can answer. Yes, please raise your hand. Anyone, what did you like the most in today's session? And what is the best learning for you? Okay, Arushi is there. So Arushi, here you go.
Yeah, so what I liked is that Ojasaya did not give out sermons as to, oh, you should save, or maybe 30% of your savings. He actually showed us why. Like he had data driven, like he had facts around whatever he was speaking. So it was very engaging, and it felt like, okay, I actually did learn something from it. So that was very nice, and really appreciate the work you put in, Ojasaya, for because you were explaining to everybody like they don't know anything about finance, and I think you got through to everybody who doesn't understand finance really well. So that really was a good job.
I second with Arushi. This is absolutely true. Okay, so okay, now I would like everyone to come on camera so that we can capture the memory with a smiling face. Okay, I would like to request Anusha, as she's the winner, can you give us a signature pose? You need to come on the camera. Somit, yeah, Anusha, Ramandeep. Very nice. Okay, so Anusha, only Anusha is left. Okay, I guess she has gone to have a cup of tea. So our keynote speaker, I would like you to give us a signature pose. You are the star of the meeting. Okay, okay. This is, yeah, Anusha suggested it. It is also a very
Good.
How can we have to make a GIF then? Okay, we can do this.
Done. Take.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ritika. So thank you everyone for joining and participating. It was indeed it was a fabulous session, what I can say. Thank you so much for joining, and let's see you next week with Chitra as the keynote speaker, and I'm eagerly waiting for that. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye, and have dinner. Good night.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.